Hi everyone, it's Liz, the Frugal Libertarian. And I have to talk about it. I had some other videos I had filmed, which are gonna come out later, and you're gonna notice the difference because I got a haircut and I filmed those prior to the haircut and then got the haircut, but I can't not film about this. Right now, we have the travel and green card ban that's for 90 days of people coming from a set of specific Middle Eastern countries like Libya, Yemen, Syria. And there's been a ton of misinformation about it coming out in the media. I don't want to get into the morality and the financial question and all of that about the Syrian refugees. There's actually a video already out by Stefan Molyneux, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right. If I'm not, I apologize, Stefan. I really enjoy your channel. He did an excellent video. I will have the link in the description that discusses sort of the moral question, the legal question, and the financial question, and a lot of that really comes out in the last 5 minutes, 10 to 5 minutes. I'm not even going to try to explain what he says because I don't want to step on his toes and I don't want to just regurgitate what he says. So I wanted to talk about something completely different than that, which is the crazy level of social media outrage. And I mean just crazy outrage. I'm seeing a lot of things posted, which, to be completely honest, all it says to me is people putting this stuff up, making videos about it, writing articles about it, just putting up comments on Facebook, putting up comments on Twitter, just saying these things. All they're doing is showing how unbelievably uneducated they are about A, how the American elective system works and how the judicial system works, and also what did they don't understand the history of the things they're trying to use as evidence. One of the things I'm seeing a lot, which to me it's like the proof of either ignorance or just inability to remember years they were actually alive for. Like, I'm not seeing this kind of stuff from, say, a 15-year-old or a 20-year-old. I'm seeing it from someone in their late 30s or 40s. They're making these comments. And I'm sitting here going, do you not remember Bill Clinton's time as president? Do you just not remember it? Because I remember it pretty well. And I remember what happened. And I don't see how anybody can forget this. But I'm seeing a lot of people saying things like, Trump should be impeached. And then they go further. They should impeach him tomorrow or on Monday or however, whatever day of the week it is, it's the next day or, you know, the next business day. They should impeach him that day. He'll be out of the White House next week. We can have Hillary in there. Or we can have a new election and get a new person. Maybe we can get Bernie in there. No. There is no situation right now that would put Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders, or a random person you happen to like into the White House. As of me recording this, there is absolutely no situation in which that would happen. The reason I'm saying, do they not remember what happened with Bill Clinton's time as president? If you remember correctly, impeachment proceedings were brought up against Bill Clinton for lying under oath when he was testifying about the Monica Lewinsky scandal. And if anybody remembers the famous phrase, I did not have sexual relations with that woman. And then his later statement of, well, that depends on what the definition of is, and that kind of thing. And it was just horrific. Impeachment is basically when you look at a public official and say to them, you've broken the law and we're going to try you for it. It does not take them out of their position in the government. It does not remove their current power. And it does not start at least in the case of the president, it will not start a new election season. It will not create, it doesn't trigger on a new primary season and then, oh, we're electing a new president. We're going to get Hillary in. No. No, no, no. If you were to, in fact, impeach Trump, Trump would still be in office. Trump would still be the president. He would just have to go to trial and defend himself against the charges against him. If you were to successfully impeach him and remove him from office, which is not a guarantee, Bill Clinton paid a fine and was disbarred. It does not guarantee that A, they'll go to prison, B, they'll lose their position. Impeachment is not as cut and dry as people are thinking it is. And again, this is coming from people who lived through the Clinton impeachment. And it's like, were you not there? Like, do you have no memory of the 90s? Like, none? That you would make this kind of statement that's so vastly ignorant and incorrect? In the event that Trump was removed from office, or resigned, or whatever, it would not trigger a new general election. It would put Mike Pence in the White House as president. Now what's funny is most of the people making these comments and saying Trump should be impeached so we can get Hillary or Bernie or whatever random person they want in the White House, or it'll trigger a new election, then we can vote somebody else. Most of the people have been very, very anti-Pence. Whether or not the statements made about Mike Pence are true or false, I'm not even going to go into it right now, but they have all been extremely anti-Mike Pence. So what happens when Trump is impeached and removed? You get Mike Pence. The founders didn't want us to go into an endless re-election season. So they wanted a system that put us in a position where we had some form of consistency if something happened to the president, if the president was impeached, if they resigned, if they died, and who would become president when that happened. And if that then happened, and then that then happened, and then that then happened, there is an entire system set up in place to tell you who becomes president next. Not in one scenario does it trigger a general election which allows you to get your candidate into the White House, unless your candidate is already in a position that would put them into the line of succession. For me, one of the worst things that's being said, and this has nothing to do with like or dislike of Trump, support or lack of support for Trump. They're saying that what's going on now in the United States is pre-World War II Germany, which it's not. But then they're saying when Hitler seized power from the German people, he started a course like the one Trump is putting us on. Here's the big problem with all of that. First of all, the second somebody says Hitler seized power, I stop listening or I stop reading, because Hitler was democratically elected by a majority. There's a really good picture meme that was floating around on Facebook and Twitter that I saw. Obama, Trump, Hitler's inauguration, and said, what's your point? Because the biggest crowd is at Hitler's. And I actually had someone say to me, that's only like that because Hitler put guns to their heads. No, he didn't. And I am inclined to blame the American educational system for not explaining this better. Now, point 3, I have the biggest contention with, which is our refusal to take any and all refugees from predominantly Muslim countries that are currently being controlled in some way or fighting with, in a civil war, with ISIS, or that are producing a larger number of Islamic extremists. They're likening that to the Jews in Germany. No, it's not the same. there are a lot of Muslim immigrants who are innocent, kind people. I have friends who are Muslims. I have friends who are Muslims from Iran. Let me be really clear here. Everything Hitler said about the Jews being terrorists were lies. There were no Jewish terrorists. The Jews did not burn down the Reichstag. Hitler's group did. It was a false flag event. So if you sit there and say that the Muslims and the Jews are exactly the same, you're saying that you agree with every terrorist conspiracy theory. You are saying that 9/11 was an inside job. You're saying that there is no ISIS, that the United States has been itself perpetuating false flag events to get the public angry at the Muslims to then some reason exterminate them. Is that what you're saying? Or is it possible you don't know as much about history as you think you do? That's one of the things that's so brutal about the Holocaust, is it literally was baseless. There was not a single instance of one Jew committing an act of terrorism in Germany. Not one. And in no way is this similar. I would agree, the United States was wrong to not allow in more Jewish refugees. Unfortunately, there was no internet. They were relying upon information being given to them by the German government. And the German government was maintaining that the Jews were terrorists, so they didn't allow them in. The difference is there are fundamentalist Muslim terrorists. They don't want to assimilate to the United States. They don't want me to be sitting here talking to you. Make no mistake, these people are real. They're really real, and they're doing really horrible stuff. Should they, this is why terrorism is so awful, because there's only a limited way of trying to figure out who's on the side of good and who's on the side of bad, because you've got the people perpetuating these crimes, perpetrating these crimes, are in the general population. And it's not like they're walking around with giant I love ISIS t-shirts on. Do I want to be refusing pregnant women and the elderly and very young children? No, I don't. Has there ever been a Muslim terrorist who was a pregnant woman? Yeah, there has. And when you look at what's going on in Europe with the refugees, you see a lot of the problems. And again, I'm not going to step on Stefan's toes here. Go watch his video. Watch it in completion, please. It's good. Social media right now is just a constant barrage of inaccurate information and ignorant ideas and commentary. And I honestly, I feel like since Trump's inauguration, I have avoided Facebook like the plague, because I can't, there's too much. It's too much. And I understand most of my friends are liberal. I'm from a blue state. I get it. It's too much of a barrage. I can't sit there and spend my entire day refuting comment after comment after comment after comment. I just can't do it. And I don't want to emotionally do it, and I don't want to have to do it. So what's my option? avoid. I haven't even, when people are directing things at me, I'm not even responding then. Because I don't want, it's again, unless you're willing to actually go and look into the history and you're willing to go and take the time to learn things, you're willing to even just do a cursory Google search on the burning of the Reichstag and tell me what similarity that has to Muslim terrorism. If you're willing to do it, then I'll talk with you. But if you're going to sit there and just spout back at me this rhetoric coming from both directions, and I can't take it anymore. So I'm sure all of this will come to a head in the next few weeks. I will talk to you soon. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe. This channel is a topic channel, and I do politics, family, and money saving strategies. I will talk to you soon. Hope you have an awesome day. Bye.